It's rather simple to see why. Religion is what holds back human behaviour back. Take the Middle East, for instance. Why do Muslim extremists do all the things they do? Like what? Wanting to destroy Israel, blowing up the World Trade Center, marrying and having sex with little girls and so forth. Because that's what they believe in. Wow. I'm not making a single American joke here. I'm going to be good. Which is their religion. Exactly. You win a cookie. Fucking cookie. Because of religion, people do stupid ass things that non-religious people would find idiotic and know better not to do. That would easily solve the rational and enlightenment problem, because they would be smart enough not to do stupid things that harm others. I apologise for anyone religious watching. Any views broadcasted within the game are not necessarily held by the person reading them out, even though they kind of vaguely are. What about the predictable part? Oh no, sorry, what about the predictable part? If people were predictable, we'd know what they'd do in certain circumstances that may be harmful to them, and be able to prevent it from happening. Mind you, I pulled that out of my arse. Oh dear. Come in! Ah! I brought the drinks you asked for. Great, just put them on the desk. As instructed, Lolli places the drinks on Doug's desk and sets herself down in the corner of the room. What's she doing? Don't mind her, keep going. Whatever. Wow, she's just disappeared and suddenly not in the room. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about earlier. About the 5 things Marx noticed in London. He believed that the cause of these problems was capitalism. Capitalism created 2 classes of people. The French, the rich and wealthy, and the... Oh, come on, really? That word... The Protheans, who are the poor and wage labourers, or the peasants, as us middle class people call them, the peasants. He believed that not only did the French control the production of the food and manufactured goods created by the Protheans, but also the ideas they produced. To him, the French were practically parasites, living off the hard work done by the Protheans, who would see very little of the profits created by the goods. That doesn't sound too much like wrong, anything the French would normally do. I mean, you know, they're French, it's in their blood. Thus he came up with the concept of a communist society. Marx, along with Friedrich Engels, wrote a pamphlet called the Communist Manifesto and set forth 10 immediate measures as first steps toward communism, ranging from a progressive income tax and the abolition of inheritances to free education for all children. You know what, you guys better be taking fucking note, because it's taken me a while to read this. The modern French society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. It has but established new classes, new conditions of oppression, and new forms to struggle in place of the old ones. Now with that background music, I feel I should be like reading a speech. A glorious speech. Let the ruling classes tremble at a communistic revolutions. The Protheans have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries, unite! Spartacus Educational. Doug and I stare at Lolli in disbelief. Yeah, you read the Communist Manifesto? I have the entire thing memorized. Wow, who knew you were such a little Oh, I see. So now Lolli's going to learn about all of that, and then Doug is going to get Lolli still. I see. Makes sense now. But yeah, going with what Lolli just said. Alright, no more speeches, unfortunately. Marx said that the French practically owned everything the Protheans had. They wouldn't lose anything if they would stand up and rebel. You know what, if you guys ever get into a test, and instead of that very long word beginning with P, put Protheans, I will laugh. In his mind, Marx thought that if people were to get rid of their possessions, including property and such, along with getting rid of borders that created a sense of separation between people along with religion, mankind would be on its way to a better future where everyone was equal. But obviously that's quite a bad... Such you can't make people get rid of their religion, and unfortunately. Everyone was on the same playing field. They had the same stuff, yada yada yada. But then the only problem is with everyone getting the same amount of the same stuff for doing completely different jobs, as you could have the, let's say the Prime Minister of the UK earning as much as someone who works in McDonald's. it just doesn't compute for people saying, this is a good idea. A world without competitions or reasons for arguments. But wouldn't that just make everyone the same? Marx had a comment about that in the Communist Manifesto, and I quote from some website which I got this quote from. Right. From the moment when labour can no longer be converted into capital, money or rent into a social power capable of being monopolised, i.e. from the moment when individual property can no longer be transformed from French property into capital, from that moment you say individuality vanishes. You must therefore confess that by individual you mean no other person than the middle class owner of the property. Communism deprives no man of the power to appropriate the products of society. All that it does is deprive him of the power. What? No, sorry, what? Basically, capitalists only worry about the rich and the middle class, not the poor, when they talk about individuality. This leaves the poor man out and is unforgiving. Communism gets rid of the power to control what others may or may not have. Not completely rid of what people may or may not have. Oh, alright, so everyone... fuck, I keep forgetting his voice. Oh, alright, so everyone would have the option to have some nice TV without saying, sorry, are you too poor to have that? Sure, however, Marx never got to see his concept be put to the test. It wasn't until 1922, the Union Soviet Socialist Republics, or the Soviet Union, that a country based around Marx's ideas was created. Even then, other than the Mongolian People's Republics, other communist countries weren't created until World War II. But from the late 1940s, Marxist influence spread like wildfire. While in theory, Marx's ideas sound awesome, the only problem is that the majority of people are dicks and are quick to take advantage of something. This happened in every single country that was considered communist. Every country that was communist killed their own citizens and the government took all the wealth for itself. I laugh, that's horrible, but it is true. But it is true. To this day, there hasn't been a true form of communism based off Marx's ideas. Not much you can do about that, people are assholes. So anyway, enough with the communist stuff and tell me about the capitalist side of the essay. Finishing off my drink, I placed the cup onto the other tray and grabbed my backpack. Wow, is he just leaving? Do your own work, you lazy communist. What? Come on! Quickly, I slip out of the room and leave Doug's house. The sun had started to sink in the distance. No, again, that's not dark. That's a light day in the middle of the day, and someone's put a dark filter over that. It's not dark. I've said this before. The sun had started to sink in the distance, dyeing the sky orange and red. Orange and red, really? Shadows from the tree grow larger and larger by the second, engulfing the world in darkness. The day slowly draws to a close as night sky begins its preparations to cover the city. As I make my way back home, I let out a sigh. There went my dicking around time. The next day, I wrote up my essay and turned it into the following day. I ended up getting 100 on it. Karl Marx, or why helping your friend eats half free time. On a fine sunny afternoon, I was walking from home all set to enjoy out another day of procrastination. Right. Personally, I don't think my teacher read it, but I don't care. Oh dear. I'll gladly take the 100 and shut up. Well, it's good that he wrote about that. Oh, that's the music. I did think that was odd. Right. Left school a little bit early today. Due to some fortunate circumstances, I left school a little bit early today. Thank you, God, for substitute teachers who have no idea how the bell system works. School. Oh. Under a tree in front of junior high, the entrance was Lolli, leaning against his trunk. She looks like she's waiting for a guy to show up after leaving a love letter in his locker. Hey. Oh, hello, Mr. Goodrich. You waiting for Doug? He doesn't go here, just for clarification. I know. Then why are you waiting out here? She is waiting for your sister because she is a paedophile. Just thought I had to point that out. For school to be over? I see. Mind if I join you then? Not at all. I put my bag at the bottom of the tree and sit down. Nice weather today. Indeed it is. You watching anything on TV? I do not watch TV. Oh. Well, have you read any books recently? I have not. Ah. What do you do when you're by yourself during the day? I sit out here. Eh? I wait for the school to let out and then watch everyone leave the building. Any particular reason? Not particularly. Lolli's face is blushing. You know that you can get trouble for hanging out in front of a school like this, right? I'm not aware that you can. Teachers and staff will think that you're a child predator and will call the cops on you. What is a child predator? Oh dear. Well, just take one look at me, darling. Oh dear. Is there any easy way of explaining this? Alright, you think my sister is cute, right? I do. Do you think that the other girls at the school are cute? I do. What about the boys? Not particularly. Do you understand the problem with what you're saying right now? What problem? I let out a huge sigh. Never mind, come take a walk with me for a bit. But school will be ending soon. Forget about that for now. With a nod, Lolli follows alongside me from the school. Now, I know you are nice and won't do anything, but there are certain social rules that people have to follow. And it's good that Doug hasn't fucking explained this to you already. You included. Waiting outside of a school to watch people is considered taboo. People will think you're weird and will get the cops involved. If you get in trouble with the cops, it will put a strain on Doug. I see. Now, thinking young girls are cute is okay, but the problem comes in when you're watching them like the way you were doing. Chris Hansen would have a field day if he saw you right now. Who is Chris Hansen? Not someone you want to hear asking you to take a seat. I don't know who Chris Hansen is either. Damn it! Anyway, don't do that anymore. Do what? Waiting outside the school. If you really want to play with a cute young girl, just come over to my house and bother my sister and her friends. Okay. Great. Nice having this little chat with you. She'll be waiting at the fucking school. I say, doing homework sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Door! I got it. Oh, who is it? Come in. Hello. Standing by the door is Lolli. Hey, is Doug with you? Doug is currently at work right now. That's weird. Why did you come over here by yourself then? Ignoring my question, Lolli sits down on my bed. Hey, Lolli? Yes? Why are you here? It's because she is a paedophile, and you just don't want to admit it. Your mother let me in. I know that, but why are you sitting on my bed? Because you told me to? I'm waiting for Alice to come home. Go home. Wow, that was the chapter. Oh, you cray-cray game.